Hey guys, so tonight I wanted to talk to you guys about how not to hold things in, and especially if it's something negative or something that you just don't like about a particular person or something that's been ongoing. What I mean by that is not necessarily that, oh, I just hate how he looks or I just hate how this person's doing that. Like small, dumb stuff like that, we can't sweat the small stuff. We have to learn and understand that some people are just that way, and unfortunately, they're not going to change. And it's very true. People don't really change. That's the way they are. So if you have an issue about something where somebody's just kind of being annoying, unfortunately, that's how they are. You can tell them to stop, but the problem is when we don't tell them anything, when we hold it in. That's the real issue right there, because it's like putting a lid on a boiling pot. And when you do that, it just the pressure builds inside, builds inside, builds inside, builds inside until it cannot be contained because it's happened so many times and you just explode. And you catch them off guard and they're like, what is going on here? Like, why are you even being like this? You've never had this problem before. So, well, yeah, it's because I've never told you about it because I've been holding it in for years. And it's like, well, how come you never told me about it when it initially happened? Why are you waiting so long for this to happen? It's because some people are afraid to just say what's on their mind, say that they don't like that part. They don't want to be that person. They don't want to be that negative person that always says something about the other person. And you know what though? It's not a bad thing to say those things, because if it really was an issue and if it really is an issue, you got to speak up on it. And then that way the other person can know, hey, oh, I've been doing that this whole time and it's been irritating you. Oh my gosh, okay, let me see if I can do something different so that way it doesn't irritate you that much. Now, if it's something ridiculous, like say you put your keys on a counter all the time and it really irritates me because the counter is clean. Okay, I mean, you can do your part and say, you know what, maybe I should just put them inside where the key holders are at, and that's it, you know? Or maybe they're just being way too picky and it does have its own spot there, and the person complaining about it is just uptight, you know? But again, there has to be some sort of leeway here where one of them has to give in, one of them has to give up. Okay, it can't be both. I want me to be right and I want me to be right. No, it's either gonna go like this or like this. So either one of you has to kind of just let it go and say, okay, I'll just do this. Now, if it's a good thing that they're telling you that you should do, like pick up your clothes all the time, you know what? Okay, I'll try to remember every single time. But you have to communicate. Hey, you know what? I'll do my best. There'll be times where I'm gonna forget. I just hope that you don't get upset at me every single time I forget, because we have 365 days out of the year, and I can guarantee you one of those days I'm just not gonna do it. And we have to expect those things because we as humans are not perfect. It's how we are. Another thing we have to recognize is when we get heated because of those issues. Now I know we all get mad and held it in for so long that they just, we blow up on them. Or somebody blows up on you and you just don't even know what the heck's going on. We have to treat those issues with a little more sensitivity because they're already at that point where they're just, about to explode. And usually at those points, you tend to say, you know what, let me just walk away, just take a step back, give you a second to calm down, and then we talk. Now, if they're coming at you, no, I don't want to take a break, I don't want to calm down. Okay, now this person is in like meltdown mode where they're just feeling disrespected. It's very difficult to handle these kinds of interactions because I've had those where they just melt down. But if you show no emotion, if you're just, okay, this is not directed towards me, something internal is going on here, then you're able to keep yourself from exploding over and say, you know what, okay, he's having a bad day probably. Something just didn't add up today and it's just going horrible for this person. So I'm just gonna close my mouth. I'm gonna let them spew it all out, see what it is that's going on, and then say, okay, so you're upset because da 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 da. Kind of reiterate what they said, so that way they know that you're listening to them. And then as soon as that happens, the relief comes over. I don't know how it works, but it literally just, it's like a wave that just comes down, crashes, and everything just kind of just flows now. Because it'll let out all that negativity that they're building up. And you have to act like that wall where you're just unfazed. And you have to think about this as well too, because if you think about the emotion, if you think, man, this guy's yelling at me, and I just want to punch this person in the face, it it'll escalate to that. It'll get to that point where nothing gets resolved, things get much worse, and not only that, now you're not even going to talk to each other, and now you're having a bad time with that person, and they transfer some of that negativity onto you, or you transfer it onto them. You know, uh, either way, we have to be emotionless when someone is coming at us with all that. Now, if you're the one spewing all that negativity out, learn to understand that, you know what I'm doing is I am letting out all this negativity onto this one person, you know, because we as humans as well too tend to keep those things inside of us bottled up. You know, like the pond Angela I just used, it's bottled up, and eventually it's gonna burst. And then the first person that just, you know, that's just pushing you right over the edge, that may have nothing to do with it, and you just snap on them. "Oh, I said I wanted cold water. Why didn't you put any ice in it?" They're like, "What is going on here?" You know, and it's just like, well, the person's, you know, I've been having such a bad day that was the last thing that I that tipped me right over, and it just blew me off, and now I'm like, what? Just really irritated. No, but we have to learn to control that. So again, when they come at you and they're yelling all this stuff out, saying it's you and da 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 da, listen to them, but don't get emotionless, or become emotionless. And when they're done, just say, okay, from what I heard, you're frustrated at this, and that. And again, this technique works because I've used it several times, and it's super effective if you guys want to do that. Now, if the person becomes aggressive, then don't even engage. You just back up and just be like, you know what? You're really mad right now. I do not want to communicate with you right now. I'll come back whenever you're not upset, because apparently you're on the verge of just punching somebody or just getting in their face about it. Those are the kinds of things where you just need to just walk away from the situation ASAP, because it's not going to have a happy outcome. If anything, it'll probably just get worse. We also have to understand that sometimes we're not going to see eye to eye. We can't come to an agreement on terms, and everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has their own beliefs, their own ideas, their own system, and you know, that's just how the world is. But we have to learn to sometimes compromise if those systems are meant to be good, and if those systems are operating at to have a positive, good outcome. Then sometimes we might have to say, okay, you know, it's working and it's good, and I know that it's going to do good because of what it's been doing right now. So, you know what? Let's just keep it that way, and I'll take away my perception, and then go with what they're thinking. And this is how progress is made with communication between couples or friends, or just, you know, neighbors, just anybody that's around your community, anybody that surrounds you, that's your like immediate family. You want to have that where you can build that trust enough to where you can communicate about certain topics, and even though you don't agree, you can just say, you know what, agree to disagree, or say, okay, I can see your point of view, and you know what, maybe your point of view is much better, and I will take that, you know. But again, analyze the things and then see the positive in those things. And if you see that there's not really much there, then you can say, you know what, your idea is not good. I think my idea is better because look at the positive outcome that's happened because of that. You know, although you may not see it that way, the positive outcome is there. If you can learn to be that positive person, even when they throw that negativity at you, you have such a more of a direct impact on that person's day. You make their day happier, and you feel proud because now you change a negative interaction into a positive interaction. Let me give you an example. Customer comes in, really irritated, had a bad day, whatever. All of a sudden, customer says, "Hey, I need this now." And you're like, "Whoa, come talk to me like that." What? No, you ain't gonna come talk to me like that. So we become all high and mighty, like, "Oh, just give me a moment, ma'am." "Oh, no, I need this done right now. Ma'am, give me a moment." "Can I speak to your manager?" Oh, and then things escalate. There we go. Now, we can handle it the other way, the other approach, which is, "Hi, how's it going?" "Good. I need you to do this for me now." Okay, what seems to be the problem? Well, I have this, and that, and I need to get all these things done, so I need you to start on this right now. And then this is where you could say something along the lines of, okay, well, I can go ahead and get this started for you. Is there anything else you would like from me? And then that's when they kind of say, no, I just need these things. Now, there are some people that are very rude, and you just gotta deal with them, unfortunately. But if you keep a straight face, all that spewing of negativity that hits you, it's not gonna phase you. And all you gotta do is smile, okay? Smiling and just keeping a straight face, or not, I'm sorry, those are contradictory. Smiling or keeping a straight face is good. Now, if you go down to their level and they're being really negative and you're just like, oh, well, you know what? I don't like how you're treating me, so you're gonna have to make an appointment or you're gonna have to talk to somebody else. Then it becomes more of a problem because now you're giving them even more negativity. And yes, I know sometimes we have to show people up that we can't let them boss us around because they're having a bad day, yada yada. That's fine. I understand that. But sometimes we have to be the stronger person and say, you know what? It's okay. You're having a bad day. I get it. But that's not going to affect me. Well, I'm not going to get upset at you because you're having a bad day and you're trying to take it out on me. You know what? I hope your day gets better. Or what's going on? How is your day going? The greatest question you can ask. How is your day going? It's a simple question. Not going good. This and this happened, and this happened. And you can sympathize. Sympathize is the greatest tool ever to just get to someone to just relax. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. That sounds like you're having a horrible time. Yes, I am. Oh my goodness. And you cannot imagine. I went over to da 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 and they didn't have it. And now I'm over here. I've been having such a stressful day. And you can say, you know what? Well, I hope your day gets better. Let me see if I can make that day better for you, okay? Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay. I'm having such a bad day. I'm sorry. And you know, this has happened to me before. And this is why I say that it's such a good tool. And again, this is not just work related. It can be your spouse. It could be your kids, your friends, uncles, nieces, nephews, all those people in between. We just have to sympathize a little and understand that, hey, it's not you. Oh, maybe it is. But it's an accumulation of things over time that eventually cause people to just blow up. So we have to learn to sympathize a little more, be understanding. Even though we don't agree with it, we can understand it. And we can say, yeah, you know what, I guess this person, in their own mind, I guess they feel right, so whatever, so I'm not going to sit here and try to convince them, because you can't convince someone to think differently. You can only show them, and then they can either accept it or reject it. You know, if they reject it, darn, oh well, try it next time. If they accept it, okay, good. Maybe you can see it differently, and then you can have a much positive outcome or, you know, positive mindset. And that's usually what it takes for you to become someone good at handling these communication problems.